All right, so I'm going to do a drawing today. Planning to draw a picture of this, or a 3-view drawing of this object. It's pretty simple, 3/4 inch board this way. These are 1 inch steps on here. So it ends up being 4 inches tall, 6 inches long. I'm going to draw that on here, and I think I have enough room to do it full size. I'm going to go ahead first and lay out some border lines, keeping in mind that I don't really want to draw anything dark yet. I'm going to draw it all as construction lines to start with, and I'm going to walk over and get the triangles. All right, so we'll start out here. I'm going to make a 1/4 inch border around the page, and probably a 3/8 inch title block down here at the bottom. Very simple, right? And I'm doing construction lines. I'm going to draw these really light, and I'm going to not be worried about about measuring really carefully yet, because I plan to, erase away any of the excess line that doesn't belong there. Always being careful to realign, make sure my T-square and triangle is aligned, snug to its proper places before I draw along it. Okay. So there's a border line. And within my title block, I'm actually going to go ahead and sketch or draw in some really light guidelines for lettering, okay, and I'll make them 1/8 of an inch tall. And there, it's a 3/8 inch title block, so they'll, if I'm really careful here, I'll get those guidelines centered in the title block real easily, and that way my letters, of course, in the end will be centered neatly in the title block too. This. Again, I'm trying hard to be really gentle with the pencil and make a light line, a light construction line. You may or may not be able to see it very well in that camera view, because let's take a quick look at that. Hopefully you can see now those lines I've drawn. Okay, all right, so then our first thing to do is figure out how to space the views. All right, if this is 6 inches here, okay, this object is 6 inches this way, plus 3/4 of an inch this way. That'll be 6 3/4 of an inch total of drawing I need to fit in this dimension. All right, now I've got 10.5 inches to work with, 10.5 inches. And a common thing to do is to space it out evenly, so you have even space on the left, even space in the center, even space on the right. So if we take our 6 inches plus 3/4 and we subtract that from 10, right? I'm sorry, subtract that from 10.5. So that would be 9 3/4 minus 6, 3 3/4. 3 3/4 would be the space left over. Then you divide that by 3. And it sounds like 1 1/4 would be the ideal spacing. So if we go 1 1/4 here, plus 6, plus 1 1/4, plus 3/4. We go over here, then we should have 1 1/4 left to get to that far edge. So I can do that. Now we'll do the other thing. We'll do the vertical spacing this way. I've got a 4-inch board here, a 4-inch object going this direction for the front view, plus 3/4. So that'll be 4 3/4 inches. 4 3/4 inches, like that, right? And I can then subtract that from, I have 7 5/8 inches, 7 5/8, right? 7 5/8 to work with, okay? So this brings us down, 3/4 from that brings us down to 6 7/8. And then we take 4 away from that, gives you 2 7/8 as 2 7/8 as the space you need to divide up, right? That's just under 3 inches. So probably what I'll do is do 15/16 of an inch at the bottom and top, and whatever's left in the middle will be very close to 15/16, so maybe off by a 1/16 or something. So that should be fine. We don't have to, as long as it looks reasonable when we do it. So here's 15/16. Then we go down 3/4 for the thickness of the top view. Okay. Then we come down another 15/16 right here. No, we'll do the other 15/16 at the bottom. Right here, we'll go up 15/16 right here, and then we'll go up 4 inches from there, right to there. And that will come out very close. It looks like we'll have 1 inch in between the two in the middle. I think that'll be just fine. Okay, now I can do this, because this is all straight lines, I can just go like this and project these lines all the way across. Okay, and then I can project the vertical lines. Come here, you. So I know that this right side view is going to be about like that. I don't need to run the lines all the way up. I can just go ahead and stop them at the line I know is the right one. Right? Then this front view is going to be like this. That, and whoops, could have done that too, couldn't I? Okay. Okay. So far that looks pretty good. I think it's a very reasonable layout for the whole drawing. Look carefully at that. I've got, bring it in here just a little closer. I've got the front view is going to fit in this rectangle right here. The top view is going to be inside this rectangle. And the right side view will be inside this rectangle. Then I'll measure for my, my horizontal and vertical lines that are going to go in here, right? So let's take a look at that. Now they'll be pretty simple in the top view and the right side view, won't they? But I'll go ahead and say, okay, so I need a line at 1 inch and a line at 2 inches 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, right? 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch right here. Okay. And I'll need the same thing going this direction. 1, 2, 3, right? Like that. Okay. So then if I've got yeah, that looks pretty good. So I can really just stretch these lines out now. Again, trying to draw very, and I'm going to take a minute and make it a little clearer for myself by erasing some of these excess lines, the construction lines where they're not needed. And hopefully I've done a really good job of drawing lightly so the construction lines can go away. These other little marks can go away. Okay, without a lot of trouble. Okay, so we'll get that there. That there, then we've got this one. When you get better at this too, you can start drawing the lines just in the kind of, like I could guess it'd be somewhere in here I need this next line, but for now I'm just going to draw it all the way to the top just to make sure I'm getting the part I need. Okay. Pretty good. We'll go this way. In this case I can definitely say, okay, I only need that part of it in the front view. This one, I only need this part in the front view. This one, this part in the front view. Now that's pretty close to all the measurements and lines I need, right? Should make it look right. We got 1, 2, 3 steps. 1, 2, 3, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 vertical line. 1, 2, 3, 4 vertical spaces, right? And from the top view, it'll look like that. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, plus the completed top there, right? So then, if I've done a good job of drawing my construction lines, they should erase pretty neatly, and we'll be able to then darken in well the whatchamacallits, the object lines, right? So I've got the object's going to be here, right? And I can erase away this other stuff. This object will come across to here, this top view. The front view the right side view is all ready to go. So let's take a look at that then. I'll go ahead and start erasing so I can darken then. Keeping in mind that I will also want to darken in, I'm erasing away the extra of the border lines on the outside here. And I'm going to want to, at the same time I darken the object lines, I can probably go through and darken the border lines as well. Okay. It isn't a bad idea to try to get rid of these little dots just a little bit if they're not desirable. The good thing about this is it pretty much guarantees that my views are going to line up properly, that the actual views and the features within the views are going to be really well aligned in the finished drawing. And there won't be any doubt in anybody's mind how these things are supposed to be represented, and it's very clear if someone was actually going to make this piece, should be very clear to them exactly where to cut and so on. Of course, now in this drawing we're not doing dimensions, but still, I think it's a really good example. And in theory, if you've done a good job of scaling it, or in this case, scaling, you can call it full size. This is such a simple piece that a person operating the saw or whatever could pretty much take these dimensions right off the page. Just by measuring and knowing how big everything is supposed to be, knowing what the scale of the paper is and everything. Okay, that looks pretty good. Hopefully we can see that it's taken away all the excess stuff, right? So I'll go ahead then and once again, the way we've talked about, I'm going to go ahead and darken the horizontal lines first. All right, darken the horizontal lines first, going right down the page, and hopefully get it nice and neat and not smudge the lead too much. Mess that up. Okay, getting there now. Got the one of the things you run into now when you start drawing these big long lines is that your pencil's going to start to get flat sides on your pencil point. And so when you do a nice long line like that, it's a good idea to actually roll the pencil a little bit. Okay. Next, we'll go ahead and do the vertical lines. Getting there. And so this would be an instance where the scale, you would call out the scale on this page, but you would say it was full size. Okay, that would be your scale. Either, you know, something like 1 inch equals 1 inch or something like that, but also you could simply say full size, right? Because this is taken directly off the piece, and it actually will fit on this piece of paper in a full size rendering. So that looks pretty good, I think, if I might say so myself. You've done a really good job of making it neat. And oops, I just forgot one thing there. Let's go ahead and darken this this border line here. The last thing I would need to do then is letter in some information in the title block. But right now I'm gonna wait on that because I'm kind of out of time, and I think you guys have been patient long enough watching this much. Okay, we'll hold that up to the camera. Hopefully I can peel away the tape without tearing my paper. Not perfect, but not bad. Okay. We can see the front view, top view, right side view, all properly aligned. We've erased away our excess construction lines, and the object lines should be clearly obvious as far as exactly what the object, you know, what is the object and what isn't. You know, top view like this, right side view with the stair step cutouts, and I'm sorry, front view with the stair step cutouts, and right side view where these are seen as horizontal lines. We'll look at the object for a minute. The front view is obvious, you know, as far as when you pick this thing up, you say, when I draw this thing, clearly this should be the front view. This gives the most information right here. Now the top view and the right side view just confirm that this thickness here and that all these are straight. There's no tricky aspects to this, you know, like a bevel going this way or something that would confuse the, would go against your expectations from the front view. You know, you could, in theory, you could have a bevel going up like this, you know, on this funny angle here, and the front view would still be the same, but then that would show up in the right side view. And maybe we'll see an example like that next. Okay? All righty. Thanks for watching.